Welcome to Success Talk Live. I'm your host, Aurea McGarry, and I have a beautiful and fabulous and brilliant guest here tonight with me, Judy Goss, founder of What Women Want. But before I get to her, I want to let you know right off the bat, I know I've got some freebies for you tonight, and I believe Judy has some specials because she's got a big event coming up in October, and we're going to talk about that. So stay tuned. You must be live tonight watching in order to get our special goodies for this evening. I know I'm going to be giving $50 off one of my vendor booths to my Live Your Legacy Summit, and I'm going to be giving away a free ticket to my event, and Judy's got some things up her sleeve, so don't go away. It's going to be great. So without any further ado, I'm going to introduce my wonderful guest to Success Talk Live tonight. Success Talk Live is where I bring together the best of the best, men and women and sometimes teens and children who are making their mark in the world, who have created a success in their life. And I bring them in a specific way, like a category that they're really excelling in. Because, you know, we all can't be brilliant at everything, but Judy comes really close. She's an all-around success gal. So we're going to bring her in because she has achieved great success, but also she has accumulated 10,000 listeners to her radio show, and they have over 1 million downloads. So I wanted to talk about how to get to that type of success, because so many of my fans and friends are trying to do that. It's so on the top of their wish list. So Judy, I want to bring you on now to tell us first a little bit about yourself, and feel free to brag on yourself because you've got some great accolades and I don't want to mess them up. So Judy Goss, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you, Aurea. Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be on here. You know, I admire and adore you and respect everything you do. Oh my gosh, it's just amazing how you support women, women and nonprofits, and you're just an all-around wonder yourself. So I really appreciate the support. Absolutely. And thank you for being a VIP Lunch Bunch attendee at the What Women Want conference.
I can't wait.
Yeah, and you're going to speak. I'm so excited about how to, confirm that media and press for your business. That's going to be really exciting because your background is amazing too. So, yeah, hi, I'm Judy. And basically my background comes from being way back when a high fashion model to start. And then after that, I got into the business behind the camera. I worked at an ad agency for a little while. I was actually a modeling agent for a while, which not a lot of people know, before I got into the publishing industry. And I started out by becoming a freelance editor for Cosmopolitan magazine, which then moved me on to becoming a full-time editor for More magazine. And I was
love those both. I have to tell you, my mom was in Cosmo when she was a little girl, and then once when she was an adult, back in the 50s. So,
oh, that's amazing. You know what? I always wanted to be in Cosmopolitan as a model, but I never quite made it. Yeah. So as an editor, I was working there for just probably about 3 or 4 months, and they asked me if I did TV. And this is probably one of my lessons tonight, but I said yes. And I never really had done TV in the way that they were talking about TV. I'd been on TV shows and whatnot, commercials, but they were talking about lifestyle expert and the things that I do on a regular basis now. So I guess one of my lessons is, say yes.
Yes.
and then just figure out how to do it, because if you know you really love it and have a passion for it, then you can do it.
I'm so glad you said that, because I always tell people, say yes and then figure out later. As long as you know it's in your lane, maybe you've never done it before, but you have this calling or feeling like I can do it, but you're not really sure, but you think you can do it, and you know that's your expertise or could be your expertise, go for it. Because I had never produced a TV show before either, and we just went for it because we knew we could handle trying that. I'm not trying skydiving or being an engineer, but I was in my lane, just kind of a different parts. Okay, I can do that. So good. I'm glad you said that. Great point.
Yeah, and what's the worst that can happen? So you fail, or you have to start again, or go on to something else. I mean, it's just such a learning process along the way also. Really? And I definitely certainly could have failed when I said I was media trained, and I in fact was not. So that's another lesson out there, that there is a certain etiquette that Aurea knows about to teach you and to train you for when you do book those media and press segments. So I went on to become basically a TV host. I became a correspondent for More magazine and their partner, which was Better TV at the time. And that's where I really got my experience doing TV. during all that time, I became very passionate for supporting women and for empowering them, which you hear that word all the time, and which More Magazine was really doing for the real woman, right? Not just admiring celebrities and having fashion spreads of just, you know, anyone that was an A-lister, but they were all about the real woman. And that's where my company, What Women Want, was born. And that was about almost 8 years ago, the idea phase was. And I just thought, you know, first of all, not everyone that I spoke to made it in the magazine. And, you know, a lot of people know this story where I just felt like there weren't enough pages in the magazine to cover all of the beautiful women that I was meeting all around the country, because More was flying me around everywhere to meet these women and do TV segments. And I felt so bad when I got back to my desk. And I thought, oh my gosh, most of these people, they're calling me. Did I make it in the magazine? Did I make it? And, you know, everybody's story is priceless, right, Aurea? I mean, everyone has a story, and we're none of us are winners or, you know, deserve to be made it over others. So that's really when my concept for the networking company was born. I wanted to highlight women, no matter what their background or who they were, and help them elevate to both a professional and personal level. It was always about the combination for me, which took several years to kick in.
Oh, of course, of course. And I love your network, and I'm a part of it. The minute I went, was a guest at Catherine's here at the Perimeter in Atlanta, and you were there, I immediately signed up because the caliber of women that were there, and there's always a few good men too, so we don't count out the men.
That's right.
They're great, and they're smart to come in that room with all these powerful women, because women make all the buying choices in the household. Whatever you're selling, you need a woman, you need all the women to say, yes, I like your product.
That's right. And we have a lot of support from men. David Thayer was a keynote speaker at our conference last year, and he's coming back again this year. I'm very grateful. And we've always had men, to be honest with you, along the way that have really held our company up and supported who we are today. So it's definitely not I'm against men movement.
No, just because it's pro-women doesn't mean it's against men. Not at all. That's why I say in several of the women groups I'm with, it's always men are welcome. And there's always a good select few, brave few men that come, but they're very smart to do so. But it's just, we like to have our sisterhood. And I think it's important because as women, we have different struggles, and we're still considered a minority. So we're still, after all these decades, still trying to keep up with the guys and keep up with the pay and keep up with the prestige, especially as leaders. You know, it's still not, 100% the norm for women to be leading. And I'm so glad it's really come a long way just in the last 5 years. But go ahead and tell our listeners some of your stats of What Women Want. It's a networking company, and you've got different chapters along America. But tell us kind of how many are in it, how many chapters. Give us some stats, because I want the listeners and viewers to know about this as an opportunity, either to come and visit, come and join, or come and be a chapter leader. So in a nutshell, give us a little stats about that.
Thank you so much for asking about that. Well, we have several chapters around the country that hold live monthly events. And you can find those chapters on whatwomenwantnetworking.com. And if you don't have a regional, we call them regional chapters in your area, we have an annual conference that we call the What Women Want National Conference in Atlanta every October. And this year it's going to be 3 days, yes. And Aurea, again, I appreciate you as a sponsor and a speaker and a VIP lunch buncher. So it's going to be really phenomenal. And it goes with my whole platform of professional versus personal development. And I don't know what else to say. I'm also—
How many members and how many chapter leaders so far?
I'd say we have about probably 500 members.
Okay. You've only been in business 8 years?
What's that?
You've only been in business 8 years?
Yeah, well, we have a lot of attendees. So like for our conference, we had women from 13 states in Canada come around the country, attend this conference. So I feel like, when women are not necessarily members, they attend and they're very active. Either or, right? So, but it's so funny because when they start coming as attendees, they just can't help but join, because we all are such a supportive family and community of women. And it's just fantastic. And we have, down in Atlanta, we have such a prominent presence, and that's why we hold the conference there. And there are women just like you and me, Aurea, that are just so motivated and ambitious and positive and supportive of each other. And it's just Absolutely phenomenal.
When it's perfect that you're coming to Atlanta, because like I said, when I met you, you were here in Atlanta, and Catherine has such an amazing presence down here. And it's one of the most supportive women I've met that leads a chapter for anything, because she really is the type that follows up and texts you, let's have coffee. How can I help you? And we always say that in networking groups to always be more proactive. How can I help you? But people forget that's so easy, and they're ready to give out business cards. But what I find with your group and in one other group I go to is Catherine really walks the walk and talks the talk, and so does everybody else there. In the monthly meetings I go to for What Women Want, it's all about how can I help you? What do you do? How can I help you? What do you need from me? And then they follow up. It's like, what a concept.
And you know what? I'm lucky enough to say, over the years, I've probably launched 50 to 60 chapters over the years. Some of them I've had for 3 and 4 years at a clip. And all around the country, I'm so grateful. Florida, Texas, New York, Connecticut, everywhere. It's been that kind of feeling all across the board. And that's why we work so well together, because we are a certain type, right? And I feel like more and more women are realizing that they are this type. So what do women want? People are asking me all the time. Well, what women want are women surrounding each other that can help elevate each other. We want to be noticed. We want to be heard. We want more opportunities than ever.
Yeah, well, what women want is we want it all. We want family, we want our faith, we want our family, we want our careers, we want time off to be with our families. We want to be able to be with our kids anytime they need us, but we want to make a 6-figure and 7-figure income. We want to be acknowledged and respected, but we want to have fun. I mean, we're not asking for much.
Just the world.
Just the world. And we want to save the world and give back. So there's so much to women. So we're powerful and passionate. We're strong and gentle all at the same time. So they always say God made man, then he made woman and got it right. So,
there you go.
But with that, we do have to stick together, because we do wear a lot of hats. And with women wearing a lot of hats, it means we have a lot of challenges. And we tend to be really hard on ourselves that we're not doing some part of our life, one of our hats, well enough. Like, we don't want to sacrifice our family and our kids to be successful in business. And sometimes we can get that guilt feeling if we've been away too long or worked too hard. So we really have to keep that balance. And with other women around us, we're able to help each other. Say, hey, that's okay. I felt that way too. Here's a little time tip I had that really worked well. So we're really, we're problem solvers.
Oh yeah. Not only am I hard on myself, but for many years I was ashamed of my background and what I went through to get to where I am now. And that's a horrible feeling. Yeah. And that's, I feel like the best way to get over that is to network and get out there and meet different people and learn from each other in our stories.
Yeah, and realize you're not alone. So that's the good thing. A lot of times women, whether it's postpartum depression or whether it's just the day-to-day stuff, they're like, oh God, you feel alone. Just as somebody else has been there and done that or is going through it now, it just makes it so much more doable. So I love that. I'm going to make a quick announcement that everybody who's listening right now or watching during the live show, for every comment or question you put on the Facebook page, Aurea McGarry Production, I see Catherine's on, Kareen's on, Ingrid's on, whoever makes a comment from any time from the start to the finish, I'm going to do a drawing at the end. Your name's going to go in the drawing for every single comment or every single question you've asked, and I'm going to be giving away a free ticket to my Live Your Legacy Summit, and someone's going to win $50 off the Legacy VIP vendor booth. Judy, do you have any special? We'll tell them about this now, and then we're going to go straight into your secret sauce to building your large network from What Women Want to your radio show and the listening power that you have on that. But tell them about the special real quick.
Okay, the special is about the conference, our What Women Want National Conference, where I told you professional meets personal development is in October 19th through the 21st. And until Friday at midnight, we have a 25% off special early bird tickets. And we have 2 spots left for our VIP lunch bunchers. So if you buy a VIP ticket, an early bird ticket, and you buy it soon enough, you'll get one of the 2 spots that we have left. And it's only 15 women that are coming to lunch with me, and I'm going to ask every single woman individually, what can I do for you right now? And we're going to discuss it, and I'm going to, fulfill my whatever you need me to do.
Great. Well, okay. And that's not even during the live. So if you're watching this and it's not live and it's Thursday or early Friday, get in on that ticket, because I know anytime I go to something like this, I get a VIP ticket, because you might as well take total advantage of everything that they're offering. And why wouldn't you want to be with the founder? I mean, seriously.
At whatwomenwantconf.com. And I'm a radio show host and a TV show host also. So a lot of those contacts and things that I can do for you are in the media too.
I can't wait. And I'll be there with you. So I'll be part of the lunch bunch. You guys better get your early bird special, and it's going to sell out, because that one's not going to last. That's just a limited amount of tickets. So you got the Live Your Legacy Summit, which is mine, September 23rd and 24th, which leads right into Catherine's in October. I'll be at both of them. Catherine and Judy will be at both of them. And you two are two peas in a pod. I love you both.
Oh, and Catherine Marshall is a sponsor of our conference too. She's having a breakout session, Get Fit and Make It Last.
I love it.
Get fast to make it last. I believe that's the title. She's phenomenal. So thank you, Catherine.
Yay, Catherine. She's been on my show too. She's lost 30 pounds and kept it off for years. So I love that. So a lot of good people, a lot of success. So tap in, get your tickets, and we'll keep this promoting. We'll keep this video launching.
Thank you.
So without any further ado now, to wrap up this show, this is the secret sauce. Tell us about your radio show and how you've developed such a great following of 10,000 listeners and 1 million downloads, and your networking. You've got 500 members and chapters, and you're growing. We're growing with more and more chapter leaders here in Atlanta. So it's really in high gear right now. Give us some secrets to growing like that for other people, whether they want social media fans, they want to grow that. If there's some secret sauces to your formulation, that would be fantastic.
Well, the first word that comes to mind is consistency, Aurea, honestly, because if you're consistent about things, then you can slowly build them up. And Catherine Marshall has taught me a lot about this too. If you just, like you said, she follows up so well. She calls people back and she texts them and things like that. It takes a lot of work. I mean, you're not just going to be handed a plate of a list of emails of people that are going to respond to you, or people that are like you, and that type of thing. So you really have to be consistent. And the other word also that comes up is to be authentic. And I know a lot of us have social media help, people who post for us and things like that. But you really should try to reply and respond to the comments personally. It really does make a difference, and people notice and want to know more about you, and will respond with a phone call or an email or one step further when you take that first step with authenticity and then being consistent about it.
When you first were on the air with your radio show, what was the first thing you did to let people know that it was there? Or what was the first thing you did when you started your networking of What Women Want? We all know to be, consistent is great, authentic, wonderful, but what's one meat and potato that you said, okay, here's how I'm going to let the first 100 people know that it's even here?
Well, I think it was, email, social media, obviously, but don't discount the word of mouth. Once you start talking, I feel like it's always on my lips now, the conference, and what's going on with that, and just really having a conversation with people. Again, from Catherine Marshall, I learned a lot, pick up the phone.
I love the phone. I tell everybody, the phone works great.
Yeah. And it's again, all about being authentic and really understanding, I hate, this is a pun, what, people want, right? And just being there for them. And my gosh, if you go out and do something for somebody, or volunteer for a nonprofit, or do something that doesn't have a direct effect or right away, gives you a reward back besides the fact that you're volunteering, and that's fantastic. Just go out and do something, and it does eventually come back.
It does. It really does. So when you started, did you ever do something did you have a partner when you started, or you have 10 women around you that would help get that word of mouth going? Because I know, the team equals, together everyone achieves more.
I did. So when I very first started, I would come to networking events and hand out surveys. And actually, when I first started, I just called probably about 6 or 8 of my friends. About 2 or 3 of them I still speak to, and then they just can't believe how it's grown. And I sat them down and I said, I'm opening this company. And I'm just wondering what you think about it and what you would want out of a company like this. So your friends are sometimes your best sounding boards when you're building, because they'll tell you the honest truth. Oh my gosh, no, that's not a good idea. Or, I'm thinking they'll give you such an objective angle on it, perspective on it, right? They'll really tell you the truth. So it's very valuable what the people close to you think. And then as you go out and you spread the word and you talk to more and more people, you always want to get sounding boards and take criticism very well. You don't have to do everything that everybody says, but you do have to pick the things out that you feel would, be best for you to move forward.
That is great advice, great advice. And I also know something I always quote is people help to support that which they help to create. So by just taking ideas, and then even if you use one, or you help, like you've got all the chapters and people running the chapters, by having your structure, but letting them have some creativity leeway, let them help, create their chapter with their own personality, they're more apt to support it and get other people supporting it. And if those people coming to the chapter are able to be creative and kind of it has a personality of its own, still within your guidelines, but being able to flourish because they have maybe some different types of events they want to do or different ways they want to promote it. And you let them have that freedom, just like with any team in corporate or anywhere. Let them have their say and let them have some support and ideas in it. They help to support it because they've helped to create that part of it. So I think
right.
That's really important.
And also I think it's important to, I feel like, we always say there is no competition. I always say that. And it's been proven in a way that, if you go to people within your industry and get together and collaborate, that is one of the things that just magnifies explodes your business to phenomenal proportions. And again, we bring up Catherine Marshall again, but she's the perfect example. She's having networking events with other networking, companies.
Yeah, I met her at another women's event. She came to a women's event that I go to all the time. There she was. We went to hers before. You know what? Those two chapter leaders from two totally different network events are BFFs now in business.
That's right.
We're going to each other's constantly.
Right. And I remember up in Connecticut, we used to have events all the time with ladies who launch and networking companies like that. Yeah. And that's how I met Marsha Clark. And she ended up speaking for us a few times and coming on my show. And, it just don't see people in your industry as competition, because there could be some amazing collaborations that could form if you just keep an open mind and try to help each other.
And I think women were great at that. I think naturally we don't want to compete. I think naturally, so maybe in show business, right? Although scratch your eyes out, but that's beside the point. Little minority. But I think most of the time we want to support and lift up, because I found moving to the South, the women down here have just really been really supportive. I think that they're that way mostly across the board. Now that I've done a lot more traveling over the years, we find ways to help. And it does make a difference when we can collaborate. And I'm collaborating now. I had several very big international women call me that are already in media and they're in California. They said, hey, Ray, we want to collaborate with you. You want to be on the stage with us? You want to do this? Because we each bring a different aspect, a different personality, a different story, a different sauce to it. And there is no competition. It's like the more the merrier on the stage. There's enough clients to go around. And if you all do things together, I'd rather make 25% of a pie than 0% of everything.
Right.
Sharing something is better than having 100% of nothing.
That's right. No, it's true. And I wish that I think more women are realizing that. And hopefully we're setting the example with a company like What Women Not Want Networking. And Aurea, you too. You're always setting the example of supporting women and showing people how they can reach out and what more they can do, especially with the charities that you support. It's just amazing. You have so many.
I love my charities. Before I die, I want to have helped as many charities and nonprofits as I can, because after I had cancer, I love it. Oh God, it happened to me after my cancer, and they took out my vocal cord nerve, told me I'd never speak again. And I just said, I'll be darned. I'm going to use my voice to help good people tell good stories. And from there, my voice started to come back, and God's been using me from a an event you think would be a total tragedy, God started my whole ministry, my whole life to help people. And I bring those type of people to my Live Your Legacy Summit now, who could very easily have crawled into a hole after tragedy struck, but they've turning around the world because of that, taking the tragedy and turning it into triumph and helping other people because of it. So I was a real blessing that I, got cancer and had that big trauma in my life, because it really was a turning point and for the better. So I give God all the glory for that. He opened up my heart, poured in the nonprofit, and I can't help enough of them. I just love it. And I didn't know speaking was a gift. I mean, who thinks of speaking as a gift? I was thinking, I don't have a college degree, I don't have this, and I don't have that. Who am I to think I can? Granted. Yeah, I mean, women were the worst. But all of a sudden, I'm using my voice to help nonprofits, and that's how I make my living. And I'm not even supposed to be able to talk. So I love giving people hope. Men, women, kids, giving everybody hope.
And we have a component to that at the conference also. Women for One is having a truth teller tour stop there. So people are applying to be able to speak on main stage and tell their story. So that's very exciting too, that we're allowing women, who wouldn't normally get that type of
that's great.
Stage and platform to be heard, to start their own story.
Exactly. All right, Judy, as we're talking about Catherine so much.
I know.
Hi, Catherine.
Marshall Show.
Judy Goss, founder of What Women Want. Tell us in like a nutshell, one topic that you're going to be teaching at your What Women Want that we need to know about. Give us one really good, juicy piece of info that we need to know that's going to get people to get those tickets today.
Oh my gosh. Well, how can I pick just one?
I'll pick 3 or 4. That's okay. Give us a top 3.
Okay. So of course we have Get Fit Fast and Make It Last. Speaking of Catherine Marshall, she's one of our breakout sessions. And we have David Bear coming back to talk to us about, and he is just phenomenal, about mindset. So the whole conference pretty much is, we start with mindset and we're basically morphing into business. Because I always say you can go farther and faster in your business if you also work on the business of yourself. So there's going to be a ton of business development, leadership, managing. And Aurea, of course, you're going to talk about how we can confirm that media. And then we're going to also have the personal development side, which is like what Catherine's going to be talking about, getting fit, and David's going to be talking about mindset and then the neurons in your brain and all that. And we're going to have CEO of Chicken Soup for the Soul, Emmy Newmark, is our opening keynote, and she's so inspirational. And when she talks about all of her stories, the Chicken Soup for the Soul series, it just, you just want to cry. And it's just so fantastic. And then we're wrapping up the conference with Cecilia Link from Value Setters. And Cecilia and Amy's companies both went public last year. So female power CEOs. And it's just a whole, I guess, full circle of personal meets professional development. So I'm very excited.
Am hearing collaborations.
Totally.
If you don't get in those rooms, you're missing out, because we can only do so much social media. So that's one reason I love live events, because that's your time you can go and meet people eyeball to eyeball, the old-fashioned way.
Imagine that.
Yeah, and you never know who you're going to meet, because we can't even predict what's going to happen and who you're going to meet. So we all know who the on-stage people are going to be. But you know what? Your best collaborations could be with somebody else sitting in that room next to you that's got that pen and paper, and you start collaborating and talking, and before you know it, you have the next big thing.
And we make time in the schedule just for that. We don't just keep throwing classes and speakers at you all the time. We make time so the women can get to know each other and form relationships with each other.
Fabulous. So I hope everybody goes to whatwomenwantnetworking.com.
Yes. So it's whatwomenwantnetworking.com, and the conference is whatwomenwantconf.com.
Okay.
I can't wait to go to your events.
Yes, we'll talk about it. I hope, Corrine, if you'd write those websites down, that'd be great in the comments. And mine's liveyourlegacysummit.com. And we've got a great lineup all about inspiration and empowerment of women and a few great men, of course. And Kim Coles is also coming from Hollywood, from Living Color and Living Single. She's a hoot and a half. And she talks about how to monetize your story, how to tell your story, and to make that your career, or your speaking or writing books. But we all do have a story to tell. And she really goes through steps on how to do that, how to start.
Oh, that's fantastic.
We don't know how to even start. Well, how do I tell my story? What is my story? I have a lot of stories. Or how do I pick one? I don't have a story.
And it's so surprising how you can wrap it into building your business.
Yep, and monetize the heck out of it. It really matters. It really matters. And when you monetize your story, You have no competition because nobody has your same story. Other people can teach media, but they don't have my exact story and the exact things that I've done. Same with anyone, accountants or fitness trainers. Everybody's gotten to their success point a different way, and you need somebody that's gotten their specific way so you can connect to. So there's a different clientele for all of us.
That's
not
right.
one person is going to be right for every single person out there. So we need lots of people and lots of the same businesses to connect.
I'm glad you made that point. It's so important because we're all so unique and individual. And if we could just discover our talents and bring them out, it comes from within. It goes on my radio show almost every week. We go back to that talk. It starts from within.
Yep, it does. It does. Well, I'm so glad we're collaborating, and you're going to be at my summit too. Mine's September 23rd, 24th.
Yeah.
You'll be there. Catherine, we've talked about Catherine, but she'll be there. So I've got a lot of great speakers. I've got an accountant this year, Deborah Daniels coming, and she's going to be teaching on money, how money has to do with not just your business, but how you can give back, some great tax advantages. She's stirring at the pot right now to get some really great topics for the mastermind
fantastic.
session.
I love her.
So that'll be great. Shelly Hunt's coming, our international Dame Shelly Hunt, and she's the one that teaches from going from zero, your idea, to 6 figures in 6 months. And she's got a formula for success for that. And she's a huge international philanthropist. And she's going to talk about how the more we make, how the more we can give, which is right up my alley. So, but really good tacticals, some meat and potatoes and nuts and bolts to take your ideas and monetize them so you can do what I always say to do. You can earn more, so you can live more, so you can give more. That's my mantra.
So much about your conference and how phenomenal it is, and I absolutely can't wait.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Mine's definitely different because it's a lot more inspirational, empowering versus, trying everybody having something to sell. It's really everybody kind of getting to know everybody and giving them great encouragement. And if they want more from you, they tap into you, when they talk to you in the vendor booths and stuff. So it's all good. I'm glad you all tuned in. Judy, do you have a last secret sauce tip for everybody to know? If you can give them one last piece of advice before we sign off, what would that be?
One last piece of advice. Oh my gosh. I guess, I was talking about being ashamed before of my story. You were talking about stories and how to monetize them and all that type of thing. And I really feel that people should take a closer look at what they're truly about and really use that to move forward. Because when you start to do that, and I'm here preaching to the choir, I've only realized this in the past probably year, maybe, is that when you start to really feel that you're coming from a place within that's completely real and honest and your truth, that's when you really start to succeed, and you start to attract people that are like that also, and you just lift each other up, and that is probably the biggest thing that I've learned through all these years in business.
I'm glad. That's great. Great way to leave off the show. And I hope everybody will tune in and tune into you at your What Women Want, wherever they are. If there's not a chapter near you, I suggest you tap into Judy and email them.
Or open one.
Open ones. Exactly what I was going to say.
Thank you.
Being a leader of a chapter of such a great community of women, successful women, you will be in the midst of such great people and grow your business so fast. And I'm just so honored and glad to have you on this show, and glad to have you coming to Live Your Legacy Summit. So we've got whatwomenwantnetwork.com. Look it up. We'll put it in the comments here, and hope to see you guys there here in Atlanta where it's all happening. Judy, we got to get you to move to Atlanta.
I know. Well, if anything, for the weather, oh my gosh, it's been raining in New York for like 5 months.
Don't talk to me about the rain. It's been the same here in Georgia. Sorry, I'd love to say it's been beautiful and sunny, but it hasn't been. So it's the East Coast thing that's been happening. Enough already with the rain.
You're the sunshine array. You put sunshine to Atlanta. You do. You're just a radiant, brilliant, positive ray of sunshine to everyone.
Thank you. Well, you make my job easy. I love all the people. They're fabulous. Maybe we can send some of this rain over to California or the Midwest where they need some of the rain. But meanwhile, we're glad you tuned in. Thank you so much, Judy. Mwah. Love you.
Thank you, Aurea.
Classes, great success. Y'all take to heart some of the things we said. Rewind this, share this, because we really want to empower you to be the best you can be so we can live our legacies every day. Y'all have a great day, night, morning, whenever you're watching this. And I'm going to give everybody until 9 o'clock right now to post a comment or a question. And then at 9:05, I'm going to do the drawing. Somebody's going to win $50 off the Legacy VIP vendor, which comes with 2 tickets to my Live Your Legacy Summit. And someone's going to win a free 2-day ticket.
Fantastic.
I'll do it at 9:05 tonight. So keep the comments coming. And we'll see you all next time on Live Your Legacy. Live Your Legacy. Success Talk Live. Sponsored by Live Your Legacy Summit. There you go. Have a great night. Bye, Judy. Thank you again.
Thank you, Aurea, for having me.
Bye. See you soon. Come to Atlanta.